Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is Dr. Stan Harris, known as Dr. Breakthrough. I want to give a shout out to the little sisters that make a big difference. Man, Alicia and Lorette, we've been friends 20 years. Has it been that long? Wow, wow, wow. So anyway, but hey, I just love what they're doing to make a difference in the marketplace. And each and every one of you, I always love one of my favorite places to speak, bar none, is right here. So I got a little intro video. I want you to be sending out text, tell people don't want to miss this. It's going to be an amazing, amazing presentation. Not because so much I'm doing it. Well, I may make it too. But anyway, but it's the information that I'm going to share. So here we go, my friend. A little 40-second intro. All righty, all righty, all righty. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. Who enjoyed that little intro? And by the way, let me know where you're zooming in from. Again, this is Dr. Stan Harris. I always give a disclaimer. I can't provide a breakthrough. I just prescribe the breakthrough. However, when people follow the breakthrough prescription, God Almighty provides the breakthrough they desire and deserve. And a breakthrough, it's exploding through barriers that at one time seemed insurmountable. And yes, I get a little excited. My wife, I call her my ABCD, my adorable brown caramel delight. And a lot of times she says, baby, just breathe, just breathe. But we live here just North Dallas and Dallas, Texas. So, okay, hey, I see Kingston's in the house and Philadelphia. My daughter lives up there. All righty, good, good. Trinidad, California. Oh my goodness, Vegas, all over the place. Peoria, Illinois. All righty. Atlanta. I've spoken in all those places. Jamaica. Yeah, man. All righty, all righty. So listen, listen, listen. How many of you are ready to learn some powerful, practical things about this thing right here? Is called the mind. And South Africa, by the way, my wife's ready. She's like, baby, I'm ready to go to Johannesburg. Let's go there. So I need a speaking engagement or preaching engagement in Johannesburg. If you know a connection, hook a brother up, okay? Hook a brother up for the wife's sake. But anyway, we greet you again. And I always want you to know, my friend, that you're in the right place at the right time. I just hope you have the right frame of mind and most importantly, take the right action. So if I say something good that you like, feel free, since I can't hear you or whatever else, feel free in the chat to chat something and I'll see it pop up. Let me know you're with me, picking up when I'm putting down and all that. So we're going to talk about mental self-defense or MMA. By the way, put in the chat when most people MMA, put in the chat, what does that stand for? So I'm going to see the regular MMA, but then I want you to see the breakthrough MMA. So what does MMA stand for? There you go. Mixed martial arts. That's right, Mika. Thank you very much. You're quick and fast. All righty. Yes. So, but today we're going to learn about another MMA, and that's called mental martial arts. Ooh, somebody write that down. Mental martial arts, or what I call mental self-defense. And again, the definition is simply this. Yes, yes, yes. Rip Hulk Hogan. Unfortunately, he passed today. I think he was 71, only 71 years wise. Man, I'll be there in like 6 years. Like, man, that's weird. But again, we just never know. So you got to live life to its fullest. And so anyway, but yes, mental martial arts are mental self-defense. And what's the definition for mental self-defense? That is learning how to defend yourself against your greatest opponent, which is your undisciplined or subconscious mind. Let me say it again. Somebody write that in the chat, please. Mental martial arts or mental self-defense. What is it? It's learning how to defend yourself against your greatest opponent, which is your undisciplined or your subconscious mind. See, so many of us commit what I call sabotaged. Now, it's one thing to have your success sabotaged by somebody else, but when you self-sabotage, oh my goodness. So somebody write this down. Dr. Breakthrough says it's time, and I'm going to assist you and empower you, by the way. It's time to turn your greatest enemy into your greatest asset. Ooh, come on now. Write that down. It's time to turn your greatest enemy into your greatest asset. You see, my friend, the old African proverb said it best: if there's no enemy within, the enemy without can do you no harm. But what I found out, and many of you know my story, as a 6-year-old boy growing up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Like I said, we now live just north of Dallas. But growing up, I grew up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, lived in the ghettos, a real poor section of town, and 6 teenagers. I look up and they come in my way. Now, I'm a 6-year-old boy. I'm out in the middle of a field. I'm scared to death because, they didn't have smiles on their faces. How many of you have ever had your body give you a signal that something bad was about to happen? Is that just only me, or is that in the chat? Let me know. If you ever, you got some kind of signal, right? Something your body, there you go. Okay, I'm talking to the right people. And as a 6-year-old boy, my body, which by the way, you are not your body. You are a spirit that's housed in a body that possesses a soul, right? But watch this, my friend. But my body, so I got these signals, and I'm scared to death. I don't even try to run because they're bigger than me, and I figure they could outrun me. Well, they hit me. One guy hit me in the stomach. Bam, knocked the air out of me. And they start punching all. Now I'm a 6-year-old boy. Man, I'm screaming for mom. I'm screaming for help. I'm screaming, help, help. And they're beating all over me. And then one guy did a Hulk Hogan on me. And we're talking about Hulk Hogan. And again, we send condolences to the family. Again, during this time, this is never easy time for people. And but they picked me up and they slammed me on the ground. And then they started stop. Now I'm a 6-year-old boy. They're teenagers. It could only take one teenager could have beat me up, right? And I'm screaming, I'm hollering, and they're stomping all over me and kicking all over me. And by the time I'm bleeding from everywhere you can bleed, you would think that was enough. I mean, here's a 6-year-old boy beaten and battered, screaming, bloodied, battered, literally, and that's not enough for these guys. So they flipped me over on my back. I'm face up. And they took a great big old bucket of tar. And they poured that tar. Imagine now, that's tar. Now, thank God it wasn't hot, but it was thick and almost suffocated because I couldn't breathe. I kept trying to pull the stuff out. But they poured all over my face. And they poured on my body. And then they took a bunch of feathers and they threw them on me. And they literally left me out in the middle of a field to die. Tragic situation. Now, I know some of you have experienced some things like that, and some of you even worse, but it was tragic. But in one sense, it wasn't as tragic, because I want you to understand something. Write this down. Pain and adversity. Come on, write this down. Pain and adversity causes some men and women to break, others to break bad, and still others to break records. Come on, write that down. Somebody put that in the chat for me. Pain and adversity. It causes some men and women to break, others to break bad, and still others, or some, to break records. So although it was a terrible situation, listen, my friend, it didn't break me. A lot of people are broken in life and they died, they just given up on life. But others break bad and now they're mad at the world. And I was like that for a while. You ever seen somebody with a chip on the shoulder? And I had the chip on the shoulder, but I would knock it off all the time myself. I was just mad, just all the time, just mad, full of rage. And matter of fact, I built a hard shell to try to call myself protecting myself. But again, pain and adversity causes some men and women to break. It causes others to break bad, and they're mad at the world. And now I found the hard way that hurt people will hurt people. But then pain and adversity not just causes some to break and others to break bad, but some it causes to break records. And my pain and my adversity, terrible as it was being tarred and feathered, terrible to be jumped by a gang of teenagers, terrible, my friend, to have that happen. My dad left when I was only 3 years of age, never came home, never called, never sent mom a dime. And I've been through all kind of physical abuse and even sexual abuse. And now this is crazy going on, my friend. But again, listen to me carefully. Right in here is what makes the biggest difference. I mean, the same people can go through the same pain, the same adversity, and some break and they just give up on life. Others break bad and they start hurting other people and living a mad and just enraged life. And then there's others that they become record breakers and do all these great things in life, my friend. What's the difference? The same scenario. The difference is simply right here in your mind. See, some people allow this brain right here to be their worst enemy, and others learn, like I'm going to teach and inspire and encourage you, to turn this, which could be a great enemy, into a great ally and a great asset. How many of you, my friend, would like to know how to turn this, instead of this being the thing that sabotages you, having this be the thing that causes you to have massive success? It causes this brain to cause you, my friend, to make things happen in a mighty, mighty way. Because here's what I want you to understand about my story. I got jumped, beaten, tarred, and feathered. But see, here's what I found out later on. And thank God that's what caused me. I said I had a Popeye moment. I don't know if some of y'all may be too young to remember Popeye, but a Popeye moment is, he said, I stands all I can stands and I can't stands no more, right? Brutus, what big old guy would be beating on him and eat his spinach, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden get muscles and beat him up. But anyway, so I had a Popeye moment. And so I was like, I'm gonna learn how to fight. And so I got involved in the martial arts. Now my mother actually had won a free month karate lessons, and I went with her, Shotokan Karate. And after her free month was done, she started paying her money. You know, free is good, but if you're really serious, you're willing to invest a little something. And Mama got better and better and better until 1 month she got too good. Said Dr. Breakthrough, what's too good? Her and her boyfriend got in a fight, and my mama knocked him out, hit him with a side snap, kick in the jaw. When I saw my 5'1" mom knock out a 6'1" guy, he'd laying on the ground. I looked at my brother Ronald. Ronald looked at Lonnie. We looked at the guy on the ground. We said, man, whatever you do, don't mess with my mama. My mama's bad, man. My mama bad. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, who's your main mentors in life? I said, 3 main mentors: Bruce Lee, Muhammad Ali, and the most important, my mommy. All the Lees: Bruce Lee, Muhammad Ali, and my mommy. Come on, somebody. But anyway, my friend, but mama knocked this guy out. And so I said, man, this is my ticket. If it can empower a woman, a 5'1" woman, to knock out a 6'1" guy, I was like, this is it. But I got started in what's called Isshinryu Karate. And listen, my friend, I gave it everything I had, but I was driven. Why? Because of the pain I'd been through, and I wanted to be able to protect myself. And I became the Pennsylvania Tri-State champion. I eventually kept working out 4 hours every day, giving it everything I had. My sensei had 3 different classes. One of them was a woman's class. I wanted to learn so bad, I joined all 3. I was like, I was the only man in there teenager in there with all these. I was like, man, I don't care. I got to get good, and I got to get good fast, right? Why? Because all the pain I've been through it, and I allowed it to push me. See, instead of allowing it just to sit me down or make me mad at everybody for the rest of my life, which I was mad for a while, but I'm saying I channeled that to say I'm gonna become a champion. As a matter of fact, I retired as a heavyweight champion with Karate World Rating System. And by the way, I've been blessed to be voted into the Black Belt Hall of Fame, as you probably saw there, and as well as now the Motivational Speakers Hall of Fame. But all of that, my friend, I was, well, let's put it this way. Because of the pain and because of the adversity, it really pushed me and said, you know what? I got to do something about this. So let me show you. I think I got a little picture here I can show you just real quick. I know a picture's worth 1,000 words. So this is many years later, after being beaten, tarred, and feathered. I became not just a champion, but also a grandmaster, 10th degree black belt. You see that's back in 2002, 2003. Of course, I was a 10th degree a couple years before that, but they had these action hero martial arts classes or cards made up. But that's what I'm saying to you, my friend. I'm saying to you that pain. As a matter of fact, let me real quick show you. Here's present day. Just one of my trophy rooms. I got a bunch more that's just still in the garage, and bunch I've given away, and bunch in another room. My wife's like, enough is enough, right? So again, what I'm saying though is that pain and adversity, it causes some men and women to break, others to break bad, and yet others to break records. Will you decide to become a record breaker instead of breaking bad and being mad at the world and mad at life and blaming everything? Will you decide to use the pain and adversity to push you to become a record breaker instead of just breaking and throwing up and giving up on life? So B.F. Skinner said something very powerful. He said this. He said that you are a product of your environment. B.F. Skinner, years ago, you're a product of your environment. He's part right, part wrong. You're not necessarily a product of your environment, because I grew up in a terrible environment. I should have been a terrible guy. Adam and Eve grew up in a perfect environment and they still messed up. I say thank you very much for those congratulations. But more importantly, I want it to happen for you and your life. And that's why I'm here. And I don't show you these things to try to impress you, but to impress upon you, my friend, that if I could be this young boy beaten and battered and physically and verbally and sexually abused and every kind of abuse underneath the sun, and obviously racially abused and financially abused, my friend, I'm telling you, you can learn if you have your mind right, if you're thinking, you can use that as fuel, my friend, to propel you. And so, my friend, that's what I want us to talk about here. Because again, B.F. Skinner, again, he had the part right, but mostly wrong. You're not the product of the environment of your mind per se. I mean, you're not the product of your environment, but you're the product of the environment of your mind. That's what I meant to say. Okay. So B.F. Skinner said you're a product of your environment. That would mean based on where you live. No, no. You're a product of the environment of your mind. Ooh, put that down. Somebody put that in the chat. You are a product of the environment of your mind. So what? If you want a better life, if you want better income, if you want better relationships, you got to what? Put better stuff in your mind. That's why I applaud you for showing up on the learning tube. That's why I applaud you. And that's why I read books. And that's why I go to seminars, my friend. Why? Because I want to constantly feed myself. But watch this. Thank you. You're not just a product. You're the product of your environment, B.F. Skinner said. No, you're a product of the environment of your mind. And I decided, instead of being a product of my environment where I lived, I decided to become a product of my empowerment. Ooh, come on, somebody. So that if I can empower. See, what I learned years ago is, listen, what you put in your head that affects your heart determines what comes to your hand. And if you want more, matter of fact, who wants more coming to your hand? Put me in the chat. Who wants more coming to your hand? More money, more opportunities. Come on, more collaborations. Come on, more jobs, more clients. Who wants more? Who wants more? Come on, there you go. I want to make sure I'm talking to the right people. So if you want more, so again, what you put in your head affects your heart and determines what comes to your hand. So if you want more coming to your hand, more abundance, more money, more opportunities, more open doors, more clients, more great relationships, more collaborations, then you got to put more in your head that affects your heart. That's what determines what comes to your hand. So you're not a product of your environment per se. You're a product of the environment of your mind. But I like to say, Dr. Breakthrough again, you're a product of the empowerment. The product of the empowerment that you put in your head. That's right. So let's talk about that mental martial arts. Because guess what? I found out as I grew older, after I became this martial arts, on the way of becoming the martial arts champion, that being beaten, tarred, and feathered, I got bullied by that teenage gang. But I got bullied by a worse gang. And it wasn't an outside gang, it was in my mind. Matter of fact, let me ask you a question. Who's been ganging up on you in your own mind? See, again, my story is tragic, but guess what, my friend? I see even more tragic stories as I see people that don't understand the power of their mind, and they're allowing the negative thoughts from other people. They're now allowing the negative upbringing. See, most of us, our belief system was developed by other people, my friend, that an environment that we grew up in, that we heard different things and we saw different things and what people told us and what schools taught us, which means if we came up in a good environment, an empowering environment, we grew up empowered. But 99% of us didn't have that. And so we've got a subconscious, and it's not just conscious, it's the subconscious. They say 83% of our self-talk and our thoughts are negative, my friend. That's crazy. So that's why I developed and understood that although I got beaten and bullied by a teenage gang as a little 6-year-old boy, it didn't do half the damage as the bullies on my brain that beat me down, told me I was nothing, I'd never amount to be anything. The self-doubt, the blame shifting, the procrastination. Come on, somebody. I'm not accepted that, well, it could happen for other people, but it couldn't happen for me. Am I the only one that's feeling stuff and heard stuff in your mind like, well, who do you think you are? Not going to happen for you. I'm telling you, my friend, my own mind. Listen, I was being beat up by the bullies of my own brain. So again, mental self-defense, learning how to defend yourself against your greatest opponent, which is your undisciplined or subconscious mind. Put this down, the heaviest burden that some people carry, the heaviest weight that some people carry is the weight of their own thoughts. Ooh, let me say it again. The heaviest burden, the heaviest weights that some people have to carry is the weight of their own thoughts, the negative thoughts, the disempowering thoughts. And a lot of times it's thoughts that somebody else put it on us and we started picking up on it, my friend. And so that's why you see the picture symbolizing the martial arts kick on the brain. In other words, my friend, mental self-defense, learning how to defend yourself against your greatest opponent, which is your undisciplined or subconscious mind. That mind that when you hear a great speaker, that mind that says, well, it worked for them, but it won't work for me. When you hear a great lesson that says, well, that's great for them, but they don't understand what I've been through and it wouldn't work for me. You see, my friend, I'm telling you, the heaviest burden that most people carry is the burden. But I come today to help you to break through. Come today fired up to say, my friend, that every barrier that God didn't make was made to be broken. So all those barriers, just like, my friend, just like these bricks that I stacked up and put on fire and then I broke them. That's what I want to happen when I'm speaking now today. I want all those negative thoughts. I want all those negative thought patterns, my friend. I want you to understand we're going to break these things, my friend. We're going to make sure that we give you some principles and help you to, first of all, be aware. And then, my friend, to set your intention that you are going to break through. Will it be easy? No. It's going to be like you see here. Those bricks were hot, my friend, and I was sweating like crazy. But guess what, my friend? With enough practice, listen, you can break through. But you got to be determined. You got to have your mind made up. See, somebody said nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination are almost omnipotent by Calvin Coolidge. So my newest book that's coming out, Mental Self-Defense, Beating the 7 Bullies of Your Mind. Again, we're going to give you some of these principles today, but I want to make sure, are you with me? Are you really, do you want this? Yes, yes, or yes. Do you see a need in your life? Yes, yes, or yes. So here's a heavy quote I need you to get down and understand, and this is going to be our premise. Massive breakthroughs occur. And I need everybody to write it down. There's something magical about when you write something down or type it. Now, if you're driving, no, keep driving. But here it is. Massive breakthroughs occur once we beat the bullies in our brain. Massive. How many you ready for massive breakthroughs? I mean, you've had some but you ready for a massive break? Well, we got to learn to beat the bullies in our brain. First, you got to be aware that the bullies are in your brain. But listen, my friend, when you beat those bullies, oh my goodness, you talking about a breakthrough, my friend. You talking about a breakthrough. So I'm talking about that low esteem. I'm talking about that doubt. I'm talking about that procrastination. I'm talking about that fear. I'm talking about past failures. I'm talking about always second guessing yourself. Listen, it's time for you, my friend. It's time for you to be aware that there's an enemy in your brain. And so I want you to learn this principle. We're going to learn to replace the ants, A-N-T-S, I'll tell you what that stands for, with the apps, APTS. I said it's time to replace, somebody put that in the chat, the ANTS, ants, with the APTS. And here it is. It's time, because the greatest book ever written, it says in Romans 12:21, be not overcome with evil, but overcome evil with good. So you don't have to do anything for things to get worse, but you gotta, for things to get better, you gotta have intention. So watch this. So we gotta have to be not overcome with evil, but overcome evil with good. So be not overcome with negative thoughts, but overcome negative thoughts with positive thoughts. So the ANTS, ANTS, that stands for automatic negative thoughts. Automatic negative thoughts. I mean, isn't it easy? The phone rings 12 o'clock at night or 1 o'clock in the morning. It's like, oh no, right? Isn't it amazing, my friend? Isn't it amazing how something bad can happen and your mind will go, well, I knew that was going to happen. Something good happens and you're like shocked. No, we got to replace the ANTS, ANTS, automatic negative thoughts with APTS, automatic positive thoughts. Come on, somebody. Automatic positive thoughts. Wait a minute. Wait, I might need to switch that to, let me see, ABTS, automatic breakthrough thoughts. Oh, come on, somebody. There you go. Automatic breakthrough thoughts. We got to change from those ants, the automatic negative thoughts, to the automatic positive thoughts, but even go a step further, automatic breakthrough thoughts. And the breakthrough thought is, it's hard, but I can break through. The breakthrough thought is, it won't happen tonight, but I'm going to break through. The breakthrough thought is, it may take a while, but I'm going to make it happen. See, I'm telling you, my friend, I'm telling you, it is so powerful when you understand. So right there, this sounds kind of rough, but I got to give this to you. It's time to stop being a mind punk or a mind sissy. Come on, somebody. I don't know. When we was young, we called somebody a sissy if they were just easy, just let everybody beat on them, or a punk. So I know they got punk music on nowadays, but when I was young, a punk was somebody they just give in to just, whatever. No, it's time to stop being a mind punk and a mind sissy, and it's time to fight back. Listen, so I know sometimes you've been battling these negative thoughts for so long that it feels easy just to give in. But no, the reason, my friend, that you haven't beat it is because you got to learn to replace it. So we're going to start replacing those automatic negative thoughts with the automatic positive thoughts, or the automatic breakthrough thoughts. Are you with me? Yes. I got a question for you. If you were a landlord or landlady, by the way, does anybody on here own any property? Do you own any property, and do you have tenants? I'm going to make it more specific. So is anybody on here yeah, okay. Are you saying yes, you have put tenants? If you have tenants, if you have property and you have tenants, put tenants in there so I can make sure it's the right. I'm seeing different. So, okay, tenants. So that's Peter. Is that Peter? Okay. And Jacqueline. Okay. Tenants. So watch this. Okay. Wow. A bunch of you. Okay. Dave. Okay. Wow. Jane. Okay. So several. Okay. Wow. Several of you. Okay. Watch this. So let me ask you a question then. So Peter or Dave or Jan or Jacqueline or user Gloria, if you had tenants, so you're a landlord, landlady, or if you have tenants, number one, that aren't paying their rent, number two, actually stealing from you, stealing stuff from your property, my question to you is, how long before you start the eviction process? So come on, give me an answer. So Peter, Jacqueline, user Gloria, Jane, Jan, 30 days, okay, 2 months, okay. Ray said, no, you're getting out right away. Jane said, I'll give you 2 months. Somebody said, instant, start the eviction notice. Exactly, that's the answer. Immediately. Now, it may take a while, but excuse me, immediately. Why? Not only are they not paying rent, but they're stealing from you. So I got a question for you, everybody else. If you were like Peter and Jane and Ray and Jacqueline and Dave and Brenda and all the rest, if you were like them, if you are a landlord or landlady, and some of you will be one day, and if you have tenants that not only are not paying rent, if you have tenants that you find out are stealing from you, would you also start the eviction process immediately? How many of you, now we heard from these, how many of you would say immediately? I mean, just right, man. Not only you not paying rent, but you stealing, you taking stuff from my property, you stealing from me. So here's what I found out one day. It hit me hard. There's tenants in your mind that aren't paying rent. They're there free, and they're stealing your joy. They're stealing your success. They're stealing your happiness. They're stealing your fulfillment. The tenants in your mind. So what I say to you, it's time for you and I to make sure we do. When should we start this eviction process? 2 months from now, a year from now, or right now? That is right now. So again, if you are a landlord, I'm saying it again, not because it's emphasis. I'm gonna repeat it until you keep. I want when I'm done, you keep hearing this in your mind, and to the point you start teaching people, my friend. Because listen, if you're a landlord, you wouldn't let tenants stay who didn't pay rent, and especially if they stole from you. So why are you allowing these negative thoughts that don't serve you to live in your head? Not just rent free, they're stealing your joy, stealing your success. So again, massive breakthroughs occur when you beat the bullies in our brain. That's why we need mental self-defense, our MMA, mental martial arts. And I want to be your mental sensei. Sensei is a Japanese word for teacher or instructor. See, it's a mind game. So let's learn how to win. We got to learn the rules. See, you got to break through, get this now, by not trying, but committing to bouncing back even better. Come on, let me say it again. The breakthrough occurs. See, again, instead of the automatic negative thoughts, it's too hard. We got to start having automatic positive thoughts, but more importantly, automatic breakthrough thoughts. I like breakthrough thoughts better. Automatic breakthrough thoughts. Come on, somebody. So we got to stop saying I'm going to try and start saying, no, I'm committed. I'm committed. So here's what I want you to do. Stop plucking up in bad doubt what you planted in good faith. Ooh. Let me say it again. See, you started the business. You got in the relationship. You got the clients. But guess what happens? That bully in the brain of doubt, that second guessing yourself, and I wonder, did I do the listen, stop plucking up in bad doubt what you planted in good faith. See, when your faith was high, you said, okay, I'm gonna do this thing. When your faith, but now it's not going like you thought. Now it's not happening as fast as you thought. Now you're getting opposition. Now it's not new. The shininess wore off. Now, my friend, it's a little boring to you, drab to you now. And so now you're second guessing. Now, my friend, you're doubting. And too many people, before they get their breakthrough, they pluck up in bad doubt what they planted in good faith. Man, if you're going to plant the seeds and have faith, believing you're going to bring a harvest, don't go back out there when it's raining real bad and whatever else, and then start plucking stuff up. But that's what we do in our minds. So write it down and say, from now on, I will no longer pluck up in bad doubt what I planted in good faith. Come on, somebody. See, I will only entertain outcomes that empower me to prosper. Come on. You need to say that to yourself. Say it out loud with me. I know I can't hear you, but I can hear you, your energy. I will only entertain outcomes that empower me to prosper. Come on, say that. I will only entertain outcomes that empower me to prosper. See, we keep well, what if it doesn't work? Well, what if it works better than I thought it was going to work? Come on, somebody. Well, what if it opens up massive? See, we keep this negative thing in our mind. Well, what if it doesn't? And what if this happened? And what if? It's time, listen, my friend, to throw a sidekick on that doubt. Hello, somebody. It's time to chop that doubt. So again, we're not going to pluck up in bad doubt what we planted in good faith. We're going to only entertain outcomes that empower us to prosper. Can you imagine when I got the call about speaking? Can you imagine in my mind, and my mind says, well, they liked you last time, they won't like you this time. You don't have nothing. They're going, no, you don't even need to speak. Some of you are being blessed. Some of you are being encouraged. Some of you are getting breakthroughs by what I'm saying. But I could have stopped that whole process if I'd allowed, again, my friend, my old way I used to think that those ants, now instead of the automatic negative thoughts, I now have automatic breakthrough thoughts. I'm like, man, these people are going to love this. I was like, matter of fact, I'm going to love it myself. So write this down. Get this. Don't allow your breakthrough to be aborted by allowing doubt and fear to overtake your faith. Don't allow, tell them Dr. Breakthrough says, don't allow your breakthrough to be aborted by allowing doubt and fear to overtake your faith. So many entrepreneurs, so many people have great ideals, great concepts, get started and abort the whole situation because doubt, because fear, it overtakes their faith. See, like a big ship controlled by the captain using the rudder, that's like your subconscious mind. And I'm not talking about the conscious mind that you're aware of. Many of you, it's subconscious, is deep. See, like a jumbo jet flown by a little teeny pilot, that's how we are. And oftentimes it's what's in here. So again, I learned this years ago, an undisciplined person will not learn. They will destroy themselves, society, or both. I'm going to say it again. An undisciplined student, an undisciplined child, an undisciplined person cannot learn, they will not learn, they will destroy themselves, society, or both. So when I wanted to start in martial arts, I wanted to learn self-defense, how to fight. They said, no, first we got to teach you self-discipline. I'm like, no, I just want to learn how to fight. They said, no, if we teach you self-defense without self-discipline, you'll be like an uncontrollable weapon. You'll hurt others and you'll hurt yourself. So we got to teach you self-discipline. I said, okay, whatever the self-discipline is fine, as long as I get to the self-defense. But it was the self-discipline that started changing my life. And then I learned not just self-discipline of the body, I had to discipline, more importantly, my own mind. So you may be motivated to learn mental self-defense for whatever reason. Maybe you have a lot of depression or doubt or negative, etc. The mandate is that you learn mental self-defense and self-discipline. See, make your mind think on good possibilities. Stop entertaining. And by the way, this is going to sound a little crazy, but don't think about every thought. And don't give feeling to everything you feel. That's kind of a tongue twister. Let me say it again. Don't think about every thought and don't give feeling to everything you feel. In other words, see, sometimes we get these thoughts, these crazy thoughts. I was driving down the highway one day in my motorhome, my family, and something says, flip the motorhome over off the guardrail. Now, that's so obvious. I'm like, that ain't even my thought. Like, yeah, right. Are you with me? Okay. Uh-oh. I think I got about 5 minutes left here. Let's see here, because I want to open up for a quick question or two. Okay. So are y'all still with me? Okay. So make your mind to think on good possibilities. So when those negative thoughts and those crazy thoughts, like there's people doing crazy stuff today, killing people that walked inside schools and they say, well, why? He's like, I don't know. I just had this thought. Don't give life to every thought. See, when you think about the thought, you give life to it. Some thoughts aren't yours. They don't belong there. And some thoughts you think are yours are thoughts you picked up. It was programmed by a television infomercial. It was programmed by parents. It was programmed by something in the past. And you keep thinking it's your thoughts. It's not your thoughts. You got to survey your thoughts and say, if it's no longer serving me, I got to get rid of it, my friend. Napoleon Hill's best-selling book, Think and Grow Rich, was based on one simple principle, a scripture verse, Proverbs 23:7, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So as a woman thinketh, so is he. See, you're not a failure because of what somebody else is stopping you or something. No. You're a failure only if you allow yourself to start thinking that way. Somebody might have told you that, and then you start internalizing it, and now you start thinking it's your thought. No, it's not your thought. And if it is your thought, it's not serving you. Don't think about every thought, and you don't have to feel every feeling. Sometimes I just feel like throwing in the towel. I just feel like saying, that's it. No, I can't give in to that feeling, my friend. Now, when I feel like jumping up extra early, I give into that one. You see what I'm saying? So again, you got to understand. See, the body can be trained, but the mind must be renewed. Let me say it again. The body can be trained, but the mind must be renewed. That's why the greatest book ever written says, be transformed by the renewing of your minds. Write this down. Most people are conformed. A few people have been informed, but the champions, we have been, and we are still being transformed. Ooh, that's good. I said most people are conformed. They do what everybody else does because they think in the same way everybody else is thinking. They're watching everything everybody else watches, and they thinking, no. Some people, most people are conformed. A few more people are informed. That's why I'm so glad you're here on this learning tube. You're getting great information. But listen, my friend, but the champions, we have been and still are being transformed. What's the difference between just being informed and transformed? And that is when you implement the information you receive. Now, this is going to be pretty heavy, but I got to give it to you. Most people today are addicted, seems like they're addicted on information, but allergic to implementation. Ooh, somebody ought to write that down. I said, today it seems like people are addicted to information. They're watching videos left and right. And they're addicted to information and gathering more information, but it seems like they are allergic to implementation. See, in the martial arts, I couldn't just go there and watch them and think I knew something. No, I got to actually do it, my friend. And the difference between the people that are just informed versus those of us who have been transformed and still are being transformed is that we implement, and we don't just implement one time, we do it over and over and over and over and over again. See, years ago, there was a commercial to come on, Black Negro Fund, that the mind is a terrible thing to waste. So let me tell you this, since the mind is a terrible thing to waste, it's even more terrible to allow your mind to waste your potential and your life. Did you hear me? I said, since your mind is a terrible thing to waste, it's even more terrible to allow a negative mind to waste your potential and to waste your life. See, some of you are allowing life to live you, but when you get your mind right, you can break through and start living life living. Ooh, come on, somebody. See, why do we say to ourselves when bad things happen, I knew it, yet when great things happen, we say, I can't believe it? See, we got to switch that. Something bad happens, I'm like, man, I'm shocked. Something good happens, like, I knew that. I knew that was going to happen. See, make major decisions that will make the minor decisions for you. Let me say it again. Learn to make some major decisions that will make the minor decisions for you. See, if you hire a manager, secretary, or assistant who acts in your behalf, you then just manage those managers who manage the minors, thus freeing you up. And that's what you got to learn to do. You got to learn to make some decisions, some things you want to allow yourself to think, my friend. And watch. Why? I don't have the luxury. Well, what if it doesn't work? I don't have that luxury. No, it's going to work. And if it doesn't work now, it's going to work one day. Just didn't work yet, but it's going to work. I know that. So stop getting beat up by doubt, fear, limiting beliefs, excuses, procrastination, denial. My acronym for denial, don't even notice I am lying. Oh, I'm okay. No, you're not okay. No, you're not okay. No, we should be increasing. We should be growing. One of the greatest compliments I've ever received in my life. I was speaking for a conference the other day, and a lady said, Dr. Breakthrough, I've been following you for 20 years. And she said, she said, most speakers, they just dull out after a while. She said, can I tell you something about you, what I'm really impressed with? I said, what's that? She said, you just keep getting better and better and better. Something like every time I hear you get better and better and better. And she said, and you were so good at one time, I thought you could never get any better. And now I just heard you again. You're even better than that. And I was like, well, thank you. But I'm constantly working on implementing. So stop, again, getting beat up by doubt, by fear, limiting beliefs. Right in the middle of the word beliefs, B-E-L-I-E-F-S, is a three-letter word called a lie. And when there's lies that we believe in, my friend, is limiting us. So we got to get rid of that. We got to get rid of the lies and replace it with the truth. So here's a pretty long, but it's powerful. Every mental master was once a mental mess, or at best, mediocre. Therefore, every mental mess or mental mediocre person can one day become a mental master. And the way you become a mental master is through mentorship, through a mental shift, learning to have gratitude and celebration and celebrating the good things you do. See, what I would always do was downplay the good things I did and then beat myself over the bad stuff that I did. Anybody else like me out there? So every mental master was once a mental mess, or at best, mediocre. So therefore, every mental mess or mediocre person can one day become a mental master. And you become a mental master through mentorship. And thank God for Alicia and Loretta and all the different powerful mentors that they bring here for you. And it's going to take a mental shift. Got to shift away from the negative things and the problems to the possibilities. I had a friend years ago, and he said, man, before I knew you, I thought you didn't have any problems. You're always so happy. Now that I get to know you, he said, man, I don't even know how you smile with all the problems you have. And I called his name. I said, well, Vic, you're right. I have a lot of problems. But what you forgot is my problems don't have me, because I also have faith, and my faith has me. Ooh, come on. I said, I have problems, but my problems don't have me. Why? I'm not going to let it. My mind, I'm bigger than this. And so are you. So most people are conformed, like I said, those are sheeple. They're copies. Few are informed, but the winners, the champions, we've been transformed and are being transformed. So you need a mental makeover. Many of you ladies, thank God, I'm not against the faceovers and the makeovers and all that kind of stuff, but hardly anybody talks about the real makeover. You and I need to constantly get a mental makeover. How many of you know you need a mental makeover? How many of you feel like you're getting one now? Say mental makeover. And listen, a mental makeover is the conscious mind. And more importantly, a mental make under. So you need a mental make over, but you also, more importantly, need a mental make under. That's the subconscious mind. So you can make it, listen, instead of a self-prison and mental slavery, you can get out and make it over. You can redo, you can reinvent, and you can overcome what's come against you. And my own mind used to be the thing that came against me the most. People kept seeing stuff in me that I couldn't see in myself, and I wouldn't believe, and other people would believe, but I didn't want to believe. I'm like, no, I know me better than you. No, I knew the wrong part of me. They saw the me that I could be if I just got rid of the negative. Zig Ziglar says it's stinking thinking. He said most people need a checkup from the neck up. Come on, somebody. So here it is. Your largest deficit or your largest asset are one and the same. It's your mindset. Oh, that's a drop the mic right there. I'm going to drop the glasses. Yeah, these blue blockers help when I'm on a computer. I said your largest deficit or largest asset are one and the same. It's your mindset. Come on now. So one of the keys, I got to close, is using visualization and verbalize. So you got to visualize and verbalize repeatedly. That's one of the keys. Visualize yourself succeeding and verbalize, I am a success. See, whenever you say the words I am, those are the two most powerful words in the English language. Whatever you say I am, don't put something negative at the end. Don't say like I am and then say S-O-R-R. No, don't S-O-R-R-Y. No. You can say I apologize. You can say would you forgive me, but I never say S-O-R-R-Y after the words I am. Why? I am is programming your subconscious. So whenever you say I am, it's going right to your subconscious. So that's why, my friend, you got to say the powerful things. I am a winner. I am a champion. I'm breaking through, right? Is this helping anybody? So visualization and verbalization. I always give y'all, I think every time I speak, I give the same quote by Muhammad Ali. He said, I said I was the greatest a long time before I ever believed it. In other words, he wanted to believe he was the greatest, but he said, my mind won't let me. So what I'm going to do is reprogram my mind by speaking loud enough till I keep hearing it till I believe it. So he said, I said I was the greatest a long time before I ever believed it. That's the power of verbalization, affirmations. And every day I wake up and say something like this: wow, what a great day to be alive. I feel dynamite. I like me. I accept me. I love me. I'm going to have a super fantastic day today because I'm too blessed to be depressed. I'm too blessed to be stressed. I'm too glad to be sad. I'm too anointed to be disappointed. I'm too elated to be agitated. I'm too legit to quit. I'm too grounded to be confounded, too grateful to be hateful, too gifted to be restricted, too good to be withstood, and too saved not to be getting paid. Business is booming, checks are zooming. I'm happy on purpose. Man. So, cults and etc. Even government has programs. They reprogram the mind in the wrong way. But Dr. Breakthrough says, let's learn to reprogram the mind in a good way. See, I'm not talking, brainwashing is wrong, but our brains have been dirtied, so our brains need to be washed. So being brainwashed is wrong, but washing the brain is what you need. And your brain's been getting washed, and you'll need to get to replay and hear it over and over, because most education, by the way, is just programming. It's indoctrination. And see, we weren't taught cognitive thinking skills, but rather we were taught to regurgitate back what we heard. So that's why empowering versus disempowering questions and thoughts are so important. And so, my friend, mental self-delusion leads to mental self-destruction, but mental self-defense leads to mental self-discovery. Oh, write that down and I'm done. I said mental self-delusion. Your mind is deluding, trying to tell you what you're not and what you can't do and all the mistakes you made. Listen, the greatest book ever written says, a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again. That means, listen, every time you go down, you just get back up. So mental self-delusion leads to self-destruction, but mental self-defense leads to self-discovery. And I'm developing a new program where I'm going to teach people how to get their black belt in mental martial arts or mental self-defense. So, hey, my time is up. I'm done. Who's got a quick question? I don't know if we have time for a question or two, but if this has helped you, give me a number 7 in the chat if this helped you at all. And by the way, we'll let you know when this new book comes out, my friend. But in between time, right now, I'm running a, there you go. I'm running a what's called a 9K to 90K challenge. It's a free Facebook group. I'll be interviewing Alicia, by the way. But here, just a couple of days, I interviewed Myron Golden, and we were talking about how to make an extra 9K to 90K in 90 days or less, right? But anyway, it's a free Facebook group. So if you like what you're hearing now, by the way, you can join that Facebook group for free. I think they're going to put the link in the chat. You can join that for free or just look for it, and you'll see that up there. And so we've got this is day 54. So anyway, it's just a free group. I got a bunch of videos in there you can watch at your own pace, your own thing. There you go. It's right there. Okay. Oh, somebody says, love Myron Golden. Yeah, we've been friends for 48 years. He's the first guy that we were. I introduced him to the Bible and everything, and then I was his martial arts instructor. I was even one of the professors at the college that he quit, but we forgave him because he went on and made millions, and then helped a lot of people out, and then eventually now he's got his doctorate degree. But yeah, so he's amazing. My goodness, amazing, amazing, amazing. And I think I'm the one to introduce Myron to Alicia. But anyway, all right. I think is my time up. Can I answer one question, or do we need to close out now?
We have time for one question. So first person to raise their hand can ask their question to Dr. Stan.
What 3 things do you think we should do daily? Every day, read something daily. Every day, read every day, every day, every day. First thing I do is read, especially in the morning when your mind is new and your mind is fresh. Those first 20 minutes especially is just absolutely amazing. Excuse me. And I know, like, I like listening to stuff, and a lot of people like to listen to stuff, but I'm telling you, the people to train your brain, you have to read. And not just read, but when you pick something up out of the book, you need to write in the book, write notes, And I don't write notes so much about what the book said. I write notes about what the book made me think. Does that make sense? So read, number one. Number two, and again, I'm talking about mental self-defense. Then you got to start giving some acronyms, affirmations. You got to start speaking affirmations. Now, I've got my breakthrough daily attitude adjuster. And by the way, inside the 9K to 90K challenge, I got an affirmation I say every day. 90K or more in 90 days or less. 90K or more in 90 days or less by any means necessary, with integrity, dignity, and with service to humanity, right? So every day also I say sweatless, sudden, supernatural breakthrough, favor, and increase in every area, every arena, every aspect of my life, especially in my health and my wealth and my wisdom. Every day I say people love to buy from me and they love to be sold by me because I only want to sell them what they want or need at a price agreeable to them and with customer service that exceeds their wildest expectations. Every day I'm saying, so I read, right? You got to empower that brain, make you think, make you make your mind be on something positive. Because what I found out when you start reading these powerful people, by the way, my acronym for read is receive, education, answers, distinction. Read, receive, education, answers, distinction. And then books, my acronym for books is breakthrough obstacles, optimize knowledge successfully. Ooh, come on, somebody. Breakthrough obstacles, optimize knowledge successfully. And by the way, if you need a good book to read, I happen to know of a guy that wrote some good ones. Check out drbreakthrough.com, especially your breakthrough is guaranteed. But again, receive, education, answers, distinction, and then breakthrough obstacles, optimize knowledge successfully. So every day you got to read. Every day you got to do some affirmations, my friend. And of course, I pray. I also pray. And then every day you got to do something that's productive that brings you closer to your goal. Every day. By the way, a mind impregnated with fear can only make bad decisions, but a mind infused with faith can only produce good decisions. So I'm infusing my mind every day with faith. I can, believing I can, faith, functioning as if things happen. Faith, Faith, functioning as if things happen. Faith, fully anticipating it to happen. Okay, there you go. All righty, everybody. Looks like somebody said they joined the Facebook group. All right, there you go. By the way, spread that around because it's free. I've been interviewing some powerful people. We're giving different powerful principles. Almost kind of like what you're doing Learning Tube, except we're doing it for 90 days. And let me tell you a secret. The people that are part of the 9K to 90K Breakthrough Challenge, I started June the 1st. It'll go through August, but some people started now. And so your 90-day will start now, and you can just go through stuff as you want. But the key is, I decided, I know this sounds crazy, but I decided to be praying and fasting for everybody who goes through this challenge. And it's free, by the way, it's free. You just have to pay time of paying attention, right? So I've been fasting and praying. And as a matter of fact, today is day 54. Day 54. I haven't had one solid piece of food in my mouth. I've been just drinking water and juice, right? I got some watermelon juice here. I've been drinking water and juice and then just fasting, because the good book says this kind can come forth by nothing but by prayer and fasting. So we believe in God to do some miraculous thing in the lives of his people. And so one thing, we got to do our part, and then God does his part, right? Because some people, they want to, somebody said, work like it all depends on you, but pray and fast and believe like it all depends on God. So put them both together. So if you've never had a mentor fast and pray for you, we'll do that if you're a part of that. So there it is. Connect with me on that Facebook group and my regular course websites, Dr. Breakthrough and all that. All right. Somebody, is it Trebo?
Right.
Or is that too late though?
Out of time.
Out of time.
Wow, what a wonderful session. Thank you so much, Dr. Stan. Great as always, motivational as always. And I'm sure the lesson we all learned today is stop bashing and belittling ourselves and start believing and bettering ourselves. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. And we will see you on the next one. Bye.
Hey, I believe in y'all. You can do this.